What is a Christmas tree cake? Is God of War Ragnarok better than the first God of War? And what doctor would I be? Well, I talk about all that and more on this episode of the Toddcast. Hello everyone and welcome to the Toddcast. As always, I'm your host, Todd McManus. First off, I'd like to say a big happy Thanksgiving to all of our U.S. listeners. I don't know if you celebrate Thanksgiving or any other kind of holiday in any other country, or you might be living in the U.S. and not even celebrate Thanksgiving at all. But if you celebrate Thanksgiving, go ahead and send a big shout out and big happy Thanksgiving to all of you out there celebrating this great holiday. I, in fact, really like Thanksgiving only because I get to eat a bunch of food, and that is really the big point of this holiday, is just to eat a bunch of ham and turkey and bread and mac and cheese or mashed potatoes or whatever you might be eating for Thanksgiving. So, happy Thanksgiving to all of you out there. I know you're having a merrily happy Thanksgiving with all your family and your friends or whoever you might be spending Thanksgiving with. But if you're spending your Thanksgiving with me, well, thank you, and happy to have you here. But we're going to go ahead and dive into a little bit of news here. Not much news happening recently. First off, I'd like to go ahead and dive into some shows that are going to be premiering soon. I've talked about this a few weeks ago, but I'd like to mention again, the HBO series The Last of Us will be premiering on January 15th. So mark your calendars. That series is officially going to be premiering on the TV channel HBO. I do not know if it'll be on HBO Max as well, probably, but I do not know 100% certain on that. But I do know that it will in fact be premiering on the TV channel HBO on January 15th. I'm excited for that, to see how that's going to turn out. I think it's going to be pretty good. And like I've talked about before with the linear story and the story-driven game that is the Last of Us series, really good games. I will need to dive in back to those before long. But the series is on January 15th on HBO, and I'm pretty excited for it. So, also, in February, a month later, Season 3 of The Mandalorian will be premiering on Disney+. It is coming back. I'm excited for The Mandalorian to make his return. I'm excited for this series to kind of be going in a new direction, honestly. Season 1 and Season 2 kind of back-to-back were together, kind of, in what they were going for in the story and the way that they were handling their story with Season 1 and Season 2 of The Mandalorian were really kind of just a very long season almost, because they were very linear with each other, went with each other very well, and it was a very good show, but they were just very together, and same way with like Book of Boba Fett, also diving into that, which half of that felt like it was kind of the Mandalorian story anyway. But I'm excited to see Season 3 of The Mandalorian in February and to see what new things they are going to get into in this new season now that Grogu and Mando are back together, as in the Book of Boba Fett series at the end, and that now they're back together and they're going to be actually heading to Mandalore to see what actually happens there. And there's going to be some stuff happening, some shenanigans, of course, and the Darksaber and all that mess, that surrounds everything around that. And some other characters who we have seen in the past with, like Luke and Ahsoka, and maybe some characters we haven't seen that we know of, but we just haven't seen yet, might be appearing in Season 3 of The Mandalorian. So I'm excited for that, to see what is going to happen there. So, Last of Us in January, Mandalorian in February. Got a stacked beginning of 2023 already with just those two shows. The Last of Us will be on Sundays and The Mandalorian will be on Fridays. And that's not even mentioning, the next season of The Boys, Invincible, Rick and Morty around here, and like literally anything else. There's so many shows that are going on right now and that will be going on around this time. So, So, going into some gaming news here, which is more recent actually, a few weeks ago. The new God of War Ragnarok video game for the PS4 and PS5 has already been released. I have not had the opportunity to play it yet because I do not own the game. You will have to buy it, of course. It's either $60 or $70. I do not know the exact price point, but I will eventually play it in the future at some point because I'm excited to play it. I did, in fact, play the God of War game that came out in 2018, and it was really good. And now here we are 4 years later with God of War Ragnarok. I'm excited to play that eventually and to see the story follow through. Of course, this is Kratos, who is the God of War, who was in, the original 3 God of War games. That was in, like, the Roman gods with Zeus and Poseidon and all those. And now he's in the Norse mythology because he's with Thor and Odin and end up fighting Thor in this video game, I think, and some other stuff is going to happen. So I definitely think that it's going to turn out really well, and I'm excited to see what actually happens in this game. I don't know if Kratos is going to die in the end. I'm excited to see what will actually happen, and yeah, I'm pretty excited to play this game. It is a game that I've looked forward to ever since I started playing the first one because I got really into the first game and played it all the way through, and I'm excited to see what actually is going to happen in this next game. So I will definitely play it and tell y'all if it's really good or not as good as the first one or way better than the first one, but I've already heard it's already better than the first game. So yeah. So, going ahead and diving into some movie news, the biggest movie that has recently came out, actually about a week or two ago, I have not seen it yet, though. It will be a little while before I see it, and I will give my review once I see this movie. But that is, of course, Marvel's Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Now, this movie recently came out, and I'm excited to see this movie, of course. I will definitely have to check this out in theaters before long, but I'm still eagerly waiting to see this movie. That is for a special reason, of course, that I will shed the light on all that. Before long, in the next few weeks, I will give all of y'all a lot of backstory of what is happening in my life, which you'll have to wait and tune in to find out all that. But Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, I'm excited to see this movie, to see what is actually going to happen in this movie. And I think this is going to be a really good movie. Some of the reviews have said that it's good. I haven't seen any spoilers yet, luckily. Of course, we know that Chadwick Boseman died. I do not know exactly what he had, but he had a specific type of cancer. And he passed away a few years ago. And it was a tragic thing. And I knew that he was a really good actor. He was a really good guy, like personally, apparently. But them having to rewrite the story and change things up because of his tragic death, and now in the movie itself, like he's dead in the movie, like in the story, that T'Challa has already died, and we're going to see who's going to step up, be the new Black Panther, be a new character. Namor is in this. I'm really thinking that the end credit scene might be Doctor Doom. I'm not saying that for sure because I haven't even seen the movie yet, but I'm excited to see what actually is going to happen in the end credit scene especially, and I think this movie will be really fun and really good by itself, of course, without the end credit scene, because the end credit scene is not the only thing I'm looking forward to. I'm just looking forward to this movie because I think it's going to be a really good movie. So yeah, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever it's already released. If you have seen it, good. Don't tell me anything. But if you haven't seen it, you can go ahead and check it out because this is already available in theaters around the world. Well, maybe not around every country of the world, but especially all across the United States. Currently, it is in theaters everywhere. Go check it out because I'm definitely going to have to check it out before long as well. So, with all that being said, not a lot of news really. Not a lot of news impacting the entertainment world as far on my end. But with all that being said, that means we can go ahead and dive into some questions, which is, to my knowledge, a fan favorite segment here on the Toddcast, is the public's questions. And I've got 2 questions here today. These 2 questions are from listeners out there, so thank y'all for submitting these questions. And if you ever want to ask me a question that you want to be answered on a future episode, there should be a link down in the description of this podcast episode that will take you to my YouTube channel. Tap or click on that, and it'll take you directly to my YouTube channel. Tap on one of the videos, and down in the comment section, just comment your question, comment a piece of candy you want me to review, comment a flavor and brand of drink you want me to review on a future episode. Comment anything you want. That way I will see that and I can review and answer a question in the future. And I think, all questions are good questions until I read them. So, no question is bad. I love would you rather questions or this or that questions or anything like that really make you think, that get you to process. And I definitely think it'll be very interesting to see what y'all have to offer. And y'all are kind of a focal point in the episodes if you give me stuff that I review and words of the episode. So, but I've got 2 questions right here, and we're going to go ahead and dive into these. If you want to play along as well, feel free. If you're sitting with somebody, if you're in a car with somebody, or by yourself, if you talk to yourself, that doesn't bother me. That's up to you. But if you want to play along and comment your answer as well, feel free to do that. So we have the first question here. Go ahead and dive into this. This question is, which would you rather give up? Okay. Meat or seafood? That's a really good question. Which would I rather give up? Meat or seafood? So your seafood, we got to put this in categories. So your seafood, of course, is your fish, your shrimp, your crawfish, your crab, your lobster, shellfish, oysters, clams, all that other stuff. There's so many different types of fish, like salmon, tuna, catfish, all that kind of stuff. But then if you give up meat, you're going to give up beef, chicken, pork. So it's basically you either give up land animal meat or aquatic animal meat, which is fish, or crustaceans or anything like that. Which do I eat more? I probably eat chicken the most, honestly. Because, when I go to Subway, I get chicken. When I go to, when you go to a sushi restaurant, you don't usually get chicken. It's usually either crawfish, fish, or shrimp. Shrimp tempura or, imitation crab or something like that, Dang it, I don't know. Because I eat a lot of both of these. I think there's more nutritional value to keep meat and give up seafood. Because you have your beef, which is your burgers, your steaks, your Salisbury steak, And then, of course, you got your chicken, you got your pork, you got your, what else? You don't eat birds. That would be meat, I guess. But if you eat duck or dove or something like that, or turkey, ham, that kind of stuff. Bacon, how much of what I eat nowadays, because how many places serve fish nowadays? Or like a fish fillet, or the fillet of fish, like at McDonald's, But how many places actually serve fish as a regular menu item that's not just McDonald's or some nasty fast food fish? And I'm not talking, like McDonald's or Arby's or something like that. It's got fish, and dang well that fish cannot be real and not taste good. I've never had the fillet of fish from McDonald's, but some people have said it's good. But if you get fish from Arby's, that's a death wish. You're wanting to die. If you want, that's pretty much borderline suicide at this point, going to Arby's to eat a fish sandwich. Like, why? Why would you do that to yourself and to your body, trying to eat fish, knowing that's going to definitely upset your stomach? I don't believe I'm doing this, but I think I would have to give up seafood versus meat. Yeah, because I eat, like you can get a pizza, but then you couldn't get any pepperoni or bacon or sausage or hamburger meat or anything like that. Or chicken. It would have to be like shrimp or crawfish or any kind of fish pizza. I don't know if they do that at some places, have like a salmon or some type of fish fillet pizza, which would be probably pretty good depending on how you season the fish. But yeah, like Popeyes, I couldn't eat anything. I could eat the shrimp, but I couldn't eat any chicken. I don't even know what KFC does. If they do any, I don't think they do any fish. If KFC did fish, it'd probably be nasty. So, because fish is a hard thing for some places to get down. Like, it's hard for some of these places to nail fish. So, it's very difficult for a lot of these fast food places, of course, but I've never had to worry about that. So, anyway, yeah, out of those two, if I'm giving up meat or seafood, I would give up seafood as a whole because I am giving up way too much if I just give up straight up meat in general. So, out of those two, I would give up seafood. So, that's a really good question. It really makes you think, God, because it really makes you think of how much meat versus seafood that you eat. So the second question we have is an interesting question, to say the least. If you had to be a type of doctor, what doctor would you be? What doctor would I be? I mean, if we're just going to keep this to the medical field, I could be a doctor of anything, honestly, because you can get a PhD in a lot of different stuff. Like, am I going to be the doctor of English, doctor of literature, or something like that? Like honestly, you can be a doctor of anything. I did not find that out until college, that you could be a doctor of whatever you wanted to be. Because you get the most amount of education in one subject means you are now a doctor. Like I have a bachelor's degree, but you can get, your master's and then you get your PhD, and then therefore you have the doctor initial in front of your name because you can be a doctor of anything. Now, I don't think that's what you're meaning, but I'm gonna assume that you mean like I gotta pick a medical profession doctor, and that's what my career is just gonna be because I have to be a doctor of something. What would I be a medical doctor of? See, nothing really in the medical field interests me. I've never been interested in being a doctor. Like, yeah, it might be cool to be a surgeon, because that kind of is cool when you think about like brain doctor or heart doctor or something like that. Kind of cool. But what could I be good at to be a doctor? I guess I could be like a doctor of... dentist is still a doctor. But I don't want to be digging around in people's mouths all day. I'm not. I don't want to be digging around people's teeth all day, every day as a job. I get paid good, but I think I could be a doctor of the anesthetic doctor, like giving people the drugs that make them go to sleep whenever you have to go under for surgery. I definitely think I could probably do that. That'd be something, because one, they get paid good, and two, it doesn't require me to have to do a bunch of surgery or all that. I don't know what all they do. Like, I might be underestimating what these anesthesists people do, but if you could be a doctor of that, which I feel like you could, I would definitely do that. Because, I don't want to be no ear, nose, and throat doctor. I don't want to be a general practitioner doctor. I don't want to be a gyno. I don't want to be a bone doctor. I don't want to be a dentist or the ear doctor or the eye doctor. I want to be like anesthetic doctor, where I'm helping, like, getting the drugs put together to make you go to sleep for surgery. I think that would be the most interesting thing to me to actually be a doctor of. Because I've actually thought about it. That's the only one I've probably thought hardly about in any medical profession. Like, I never wanted to be a doctor or a nurse or anything, or rad tech or whatever. None of that ever interested me. And I was like, well, what would I want to do? And this question brings that up, that I could be, if you could be a doctor of that, which I assume you can be, is a doctor of anesthesia. So I think that, yeah. So to answer your question, what doctor would I have to be if I had to choose, would be that, the doctor of anesthesia. So, yeah, really good question. Makes you think, because nothing really did. Nothing really in the medical profession ever interested me. I never thought, like, I want to help people with their bones or stuff like, yeah, it'd be cool to help people. And, like, you can help people and not be a medical profession person, like donating to charity. That helps people. Or, being a police officer, fireman, ambulance person, being somebody in the ambulance. I thought about that, driving an ambulance around. That'd be pretty cool. I'd like that. But I don't think I can be the ambulance doctor. The doctor of ambulance. The doctor of the EMT, I don't think that's going to work. But yeah, I would be a doctor of anesthesia, and I have thought about doing that before, but of course I didn't want to do that because it was in the medical field, and I don't really have any interest in doing anything in the medical field. That's why I stuck to business. Yeah, that's why I stuck to the business field. That's why I got a degree in marketing now. But yeah, so if I had to choose, I would be the doctor of anesthesia. So thank you for those questions. Those are some really good questions. And if, like I've said before, if you have any questions, please comment them down below in the YouTube video version of this podcast. So going down towards the end of this episode here, of course, it is now time for a snack review. And of course, I have got 2 different Little Debbie snacks. Keeping on with the Little Debbie. This could be a series, honestly, because there's no way I'm going to be able to do a full review episode of many different Little Debbie snacks without dying or having a heart attack or going into a diabetic coma, even though I'm not diabetic. But I would be if I had to try like 6 to 7 different Little Debbie snacks in one 30-minute sitting, So, but right here, right now, I've got 2 different Little Debbie snacks, and we're going to go ahead and dive into these. Of course, 2 weeks ago, I tried the zebra cake roll and the oatmeal cream pie. Now, I'm actually going to see what score I gave those, because I do not remember. The zebra cake roll got a 72, and the oatmeal cream pie cookie got a 78, which is a really good score for that. And I haven't had them since. I haven't had either one of them since that episode. But the oatmeal cream pie cookie, I do remember it being pretty good. So, but these 2 right here, if you want to see a picture of these 2, you can go head over to the Toddcast official Instagram page at @the_Toddcast_, only on Instagram, of course. And you can see a picture of these 2 snacks I'm about to review. That way, if you want to try them, you'll be able to see what they look like. And then you can go to Walmart or wherever you want and actually go buy these snacks. So, the 2 I'm about to review right now, we're going to go ahead and dive into the first one. The first one is, of course, the fudge round cookie. This, of course, looks exactly like the oatmeal cream pie, but the cookie itself is darker. It has a chocolatey inside now, and it's got like the fudge or whatever drizzle looking stuff on the actual top of the top cookie is. Very chocolatey looking. I'm not that big on like chocolate cookies or stuff like that, so I'm not gonna probably spit it out, but just in case. It smells good. It smells very chocolatey, and I do like the smell of it, but I've never had one of these before, by the way. I've never had the fudge round, and I don't know if I'm going to like it, so this is going to be my first ever time having one of these Little Debbie snacks in my life right here on the Toddcast. We're doing first for everything here, okay? We're here for you. If you've never had a fudge round cookie, I'm about to tell you the honest truth about the fudge round. So, fudge round cookie, here we go. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm going for another bite. All right. Okay. Very chewy. I do like the consistency. There is nothing better to me than a soft cookie. God, like, I do not like crunchy cookies. A crunchy cookie to me, I don't know why. Like, a crunchy cookie to me, it just ends up being burnt, apparently, so. But that is really good. I do like that a lot. That is a really good cookie. I don't think it's as good as the oatmeal cream pie, though. It has a very it has nice chocolatey flavor. Not that much flavor, though. It is very, just like the oatmeal cream pie cookie, not a lot of flavor translated to me. And it was a little bland, to be honest. But I did get some chocolate flavor in those bites. I would still give this a 76 because there's more to be desired for this. That it definitely deserves more of a kick of something. I don't know what that is, but it definitely needs something extra. Either some icing or literally anything needs to be put in here, because I look in between these cookies and there's like nothing in here. It's like 2 cookies just put together and that's it. Like, that's all they did. And I don't know why. I feel like they could just accomplish this with 1 cookie. Just take the top one and keep it, and take the bottom one off, and that's all you got to do, because there's really not a lot in here except when you get like to the direct center of the cookie itself. But yeah, it tastes okay. It's chocolatey. It's pretty good. I like the consistency. I love a soft cookie, but I would like more. There's more that could have been done. There's more that can still be done, but I definitely think it deserves just a little kick of something in there. Something has to be put into this. That way it can give it more depth and more profile and more flavor. But other than that, it's still a decent cookie. So that's why I give it a 76, which is a solid score. Now, the next one, even though this is the Thanksgiving episode, this one, of course, is the Christmas tree cake. Now, this one is loved and hated by so many people. There are people I know that love these. They love it every time Christmas comes around. And then some people say this is one of the worst snacks ever. I've seen both of those opinions on TikTok before, that the Christmas tree cakes are loved and hated by so many different people on both sides. But I've never had, I take that back. I have had the Christmas tree cake, but it's been many years, because it was before COVID was the last time I ever had this. And I'm excited to give it a try, because I don't know if it still has that same like cakiness that the zebra cake roll had. That it's probably the same stuff anyway, but it looks like a tree. It's white with the red like glaze looking stuff and little green, I don't know what, chives or whatever that is. I don't know what they put on this, but I want to go ahead and give it a try, because I haven't had one in years and I do not remember if it was good or not. So the Christmas tree cake, here we go. Okay. Okay. All right. Not too bad. I do like the cakiness of it. It is very cakey, decent to good flavor profile. Very weird. I really don't understand it. It has that filling. This is basically the same thing as the zebra cake roll. Like, it's not much different. It's pretty much the same thing, just in the Christmas tree shape. That's pretty much all this is. Like, it tastes almost exactly the same. Like, to my knowledge of what the zebra cake roll tasted like, this tastes almost identical to the zebra cake roll. I gave the zebra cake roll a 72. I'm giving the Christmas tree cake a 73 because it only tastes slightly better. I don't know if that's like the red icing or the little green things doing that to it. For some reason, it does not taste bad. But I don't know what the middle stuff is. I wish I'd rather have just a piece of cake at this point because the cakiness just wants me to have actual cake versus another one of these. It only slightly is better because the zebra cake roll had the little like chocolate swirls on it, and I guess that's what made it go up is because it didn't have that on that. This did not have the little chocolate. It's got the red. But yeah, it's very, like, flaky as well, and it kind of gets everywhere, so Christmas tree cake at a 73 is not much to say, because it's not good or bad. It is okay. I would not want it again, but if I was offered it, I probably would eat it, but I don't want to go out of my way for a Christmas tree cake. So, Christmas tree cake at a 73, and fudge round sitting at a slightly higher 76. So, yeah. Not much to brag about these two, honestly. I thought the Christmas tree cake was going to be better, to be honest. But that is Little Debbie. I guess they're just hyping up all their stuff. They're either not that good or just very bland. So, as of right now, that's pretty much what we're dealing with with the four I've had. The zebra cake roll, the oatmeal cream pie, and then this is the Christmas tree cake and the fudge round. So, I need to get the honey bun back. I've got to get the honey bun back. Honey bun and cosmic brownie are the top two, no lie, Little Debbie snacks. So yeah, that is going to conclude this episode. Fudge round a 76 and Christmas tree cake at a 73. Hope all of you enjoyed this episode. Of course, if you want to recommend a snack, a drink, a piece of candy, a type of food, you can go to the my YouTube channel, which is a link down in this description of this podcast. Click or tap on that. It'll take you to my YouTube channel and comment down on one of the videos. Your question, your drink, your candy that you want me to try. Comment any one of those, and I will see that instantly as you comment it, and I will make sure your recommendation or your question is on a future episode of the Toddcast. So, as always, please rate and subscribe. And if you're listening on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded. And follow the Toddcast on Instagram for all your updates and Toddcast needs. And tell your friends and your family to give it a listen. And thank all of you for listening to this episode. If you want to know what's going to happen next week, we just got to tune in to find out. Only on the Toddcast.